Hello, my name is Michael Anthony Moreno, and this is my project for Graphic Design 179, the Conceptual Media Project. Starting out, could see these two ads being in the probably conventions like HorrorCon or Midsummer Scream, where they display these type of pieces for older horror movies, or they're being shown at older classical movie reshowings at theaters. I mainly chose the Ash versus Evil Dead, a conceptual ad for the canceled season 4, and the Thing from John Carpenter, maybe it being a reshowing at a select theater. I picture these ads being presented in film or show magazines mainly when it comes to their page format and size. I would hope that they're in the form of banners or even animated ads that would require much more interaction with the actors themselves, and I have no means of contacting Bruce Campbell or Kurt Russell, let's be honest. The target audience I envision for these ads are the usual age for those that enjoy horror films, mainly being the 15 to 25 age range. The most common reason for this is that young adults and teenagers enjoy thrills. These individuals would be those that enjoy the emotions that are brought out from watching a horror movie, much like those that enjoy the thrills of riding a roller coaster, as an example. These people would enjoy the suspense of thinking what will happen next when watching these movies and enjoy the payoff of getting through the scares to see the conclusion. Most of these people would probably be used to never watching horror movies due to fear, and from that, they would probably baby step into horror, liking it and eventually doing a deep dive. These people would then find out that it's something they would end up loving, and for them, they would love how inventive horror movies are. It also allow them to possibly channel their fear into something that brings them joy, as it would help them feel like they're confronting one of the many fears that they had as children. The other audience I envisioned for these ads would be general fans of either of these franchises. These can be at least in the 15 to 50 age range, as these fans would seen at least one of the movies growing up and growing attached to them. They could either be fans of any of the extended side stories or main entries in these franchises. For the Evil Dead franchise and target audience, it would be those that enjoy the more campy nature of horror or comedy horror as seen on later iterations of the movies and by extension, the show. These fans consist of those that know these movies are just that, movies, and can appreciate the over-the-top nature of the series. Now, for The Thing, these fans are in it just for the pure horror and suspense, suspending their disbelief as these movies do fully embrace their horror settings to bring genuine fear to their audience. The realistic side of these movies helps draw in the viewers as it plays the whole narrative as serious as it could. Um, Now, for the design itself, I used a 8 by 5 by 11 page format, which originally, before being notified by the professor, I had made images like that of billboards, so I'm thankful for the heads up. I used a picture of the iconic character Ash Williams, as played by Bruce Campbell, with a chainsaw being the staple of the series, reflecting his Deadite version in the blade, as seen in mainly Evil Dead 2. Because, let's be honest, it wouldn't be an Evil Dead movie or show if there wasn't an Evil Ash twin scenario. I wanted to make sure to balance the two in the frame by keeping it center, though I did have to make it off-centered a bit to make room for the information being shown on the right-hand side, while the left is being taken up by Ash and the chainsaw blade. I had to do a bit of generative filling to get rid of the initial logo on the chainsaw's blade. Originally, I just wanted to have Ash and the Deadite be split face kind of and down the middle, but I chose to do a reflection instead with the face of the chainsaw. This is also because it was extremely hard to find a front-facing chainsaw blade, so I scrapped that idea for the one shown. The typeface I used for this ad was consistent, as I used the chalk duster typeface, as I found it to be a nice rough type to show a scratchy and bloody font. For the logo, I had to make each letter individually to lay them out exactly as I wanted it to be in the layout, just like the show's logo with the mismatched and missized lettering. Now, for the Thing ad, I initially used a picture of the character R.J. McCready, where he is ready with a shotgun in hand as he investigates the destroyed Norwegian outpost. I use a double exposure for this ad as I wanted to visualize the aspect of the Thing being able to hide within humans, that being shown through the monster being transparent inside of McCready in the ad. I also thought it would emphasize the fact that this movie, the humans themselves are just as ready to kill each other as the monster is, as paranoia and fear back them all into corners. I chose to use a red overlay for the piece as I found it to help mesh McCready and the monster together more effectively, without it, it would look as though the monster were just plastered on top of him instead of the combination I wanted to pull off. For the type, I used Arial black typeface to mimic the original poster for the movie, and one that I still have in my room. While I couldn't get the black highlight for the font in Photoshop, I was able to do so in the Illustrator ad or app, I'm sorry. So that was handy to have and move over onto this project. Though I admit I had to stretch it out a bit to make each individual letter close together to get the right look to be like the original. With this typeface, it helps to leave an impact as it helps emphasize the title with its bold look. Now for the rest of the font for these, I use the American typewriter face for the small scale type known throughout the ad or shown throughout the ad, as I wanted to mimic the fact that this movie was set during 1982 and taking place on an American research outpost, where the usage of older technology is shown throughout the film, and what could bring up the feeling of old technology more than a typewriter? Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you, and that's about it.